We're back at the Disneyland Resort after spending an amazing week in Florida. And we're here to update you on the latest happenings from California Adventure, do some really helpful cue signs along the way, and try some new foods. This is our State of DCA report. This is Fresh Baked. Well, no doubt it is good to be back in the familiar surroundings here of the Disneyland Resort. We're not at Disneyland, we're not doing our first report from the parks at Disneyland because we're due for a State of DCA report, but I'm no less excited and relieved in a way to be back here in the friendly confines of Disneyland, place that I consider home and have considered home for the past 13 years. We had a great time at Epic Universe, great time in Florida, great time at Magic Kingdom and Epcot. We're back here to bring to you this State of DCA report. Let's get a vibe check down Buena Vista Street. And that will be at 12:23 on a Wednesday afternoon here at DCA. Look at the street, guys. Look at, boy, that's an interesting omen for what might be happening. It's a gloomy day today, not at all spring-like. Very gloomy, chilly. In fact, before we do any kind of reporting here from California Adventure, I think I need to hop over to Fiddler, Pfeiffer, and Practical Cafe to get a piping hot beverage. Nod to my friend Adam the Woo. I need a piping hot beverage to warm up my heart and soul today before we get started on this DCA visit. Let's go. Now we can get started. Big crowd ready to meet Buena Vista Street Mickey Mouse. Daisy Duck over here. Fountains running, flowers are blooming. In spite of the fact that there's no sun out today, it is a beautiful day here at DCA, but the crowds are a little light, again, I have to say. I'm feeling, it's not so busy here right now. I was in the park yesterday. It would have been a Tuesday shooting our construction. We're all out of whack right now because of our Florida trip. But anyway, I was in the park on Tuesday shooting our construction report at Disneyland, and the crowds were quite light there yesterday as well. I saw the tip board was super low. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out today. Boy, these construction walls, though, are looming out here in front of what you have to trust me, that's Carthay Circle behind all the walls and scaffolding, etc. And then out here in front of Disney Junior, these were not here for our last State of DCA report. We were just talking about how, they had begun removing some of the signage and stuff like that, but you can see they've got this all. I feel like there's something missing here, like did they take down a tree or something back there? I don't know. It feels less than it was, or maybe it's just the walls, the scrim and stuff. But Disney Junior is going to be down for a little while. You can kind of hear a little something going on back there. Yeah, there's some whooping and hollering behind those walls. Stay tuned for new magic. They closed the Disney Junior show, but not permanently. I mean, that was my fear, is that was going to be a permanent thing, because just like all the other entertainment that gets closed and never comes back. They closed the Mickey and Minnie's Roadster Racers and the Vampirina, I think it is, show. They're going to bring in a new show centered around the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. So that's on the way. Probably be here for the 70th or something close to that. I don't know how much work it requires to change out the building there, but that's what's happening on the other side of those walls there at the Disney Junior show. Let's go to the Hollywood backlot. No joke, it's been just a week. It's been just a week since I shot my last video here, I think. And it feels like I haven't been here in 100 years and that I have no idea what I'm doing and I forgot how to make a video. I'm trying my best. We're here. Actually, this looks kind of packed. So what happened to that empty Buena Vista Street? Now this is looking pretty busy right here, especially for the backlot. There's no food and wine. That ended, although there wasn't anything back here anyway. And it appears that it's continuing on to Mike and Sully's To the Rescue, where we have a 45-minute posted wait time, and there is the back. Good heavens, that's the back of Lightning Lane. Every 2 weeks, I'm going to ask myself this question. I don't understand. Hi.
The blue railing.
I don't understand the pull for Lightning Lane specifically for Monsters Inc. I mean, I guess it's mostly due to the fact that there are so few attractions here that everything is more than it should be, I guess. It looks like the standby queue is going all the way to the back. It looks like we're going to fill in the very last planter back here, which is not ideal if you are trying to have a smooth trip through Monsters Inc., through Mike and Sully. This is about as bad as it gets typically. You're almost there. You've got a very full, you've got almost 100% occupied standby queue, the proper queue as it were, you know, the queue that goes back to this direction. Almost 100% occupied, and you've got a Lightning Lane queue that's stretching out almost past the threshold. Go figure. We're sitting here talking about how I think it might be slow today, maybe not too busy. Wait if the street looks packed. The first thing we do is we see probably the worst Monsters Inc. queue we've seen since we started doing recon here for State of DCA report. Are we in for one today? I don't know. Nothing to report here from the Hyperion Theater. Well, at least nothing positive. This is going nowhere. I'm afraid to say it's going absolutely nowhere. And you can see these fake bushes here, the hedges. Don't worry, that doesn't mean anything. That's usually just for a special event, private event, that they do that kind of thing to block things off. Oh, you bet, guys. Thank you. No, I would not read anything into that. There's nothing going on at the Hyperion, nor will there be, I think, probably ever. Let's go next to Avengers Campus and Mission Breakout, where I think we're in a little bit of trouble on this. The guests trying to go to Mission Breakout anyway. I just did my usual recon session, standing there watching the elevator shafts. And I stood there for a while, and the only one that opened up was Charlie. One. I think we're down to one lift today. The net result for that is what? A 75-minute standby. Okay, that's not good. Plus, you've got Lightning Lane once more beyond the, oh my gosh, it's a Lightning Lane day. Beyond the threshold, out the gate, into the walkway, and they're back there in the bullpen, which hardly is ever full. That is hardly ever the case where there's Lightning Lane back here. Now, we do these shows to help. Every week we try to impart knowledge and impart wisdom to guests who are watching, both this, DCA and Disneyland, to help you, like, what's happening in the Park City, but also to shine a light on situations that require your focused attention, that require you to, you see one gantry, you see one elevator shaft working, you see a Lightning Lane queue that looks like that in a posted wait time. This is not your day. This is not your day for Mission Breakout. I'm sorry to say. You can come back and try again later, but do not get in this queue. It's gonna be excruciating. If you got a 1 day no park hopping ticket and you've done everything else, then yeah, okay, go for it. But I would say at the very minimum, get out, go find something else to do. Go to Web Slingers, go to Monsters, go find any other attraction, and just see if this situation doesn't repair itself. Hi guys, it can't get much worse than this. It can't. It cannot get much. This is as bad and as worse as it's probably going to get. One elevator, a Lightning Lane queue outside the threshold, guests standing there in standby like that. It's just not good, man. That is just, if you take nothing else away, at least look for those really super extreme circumstances. I know there's nuance a lot of times in this park science that we do. There's a lot of nuance, but you can at least say, oh no, that's definitely a no. I've seen enough. Let's go find something else to do. Let's go into the rest of Avengers Campus. Maybe Web Slingers is not too bad. Although I would expect that because Mission Breakout is so bad that you might find some people doing just that, and that it could affect. There could be some spillover from Web Slingers, or I should say from Mission Breakout onto Web Slingers. Quiet out here in the plaza. Nice, healthy queue though for Iron Man. Fantastic meet and greet. As I record this, it is 1:03. Yeah, it's kind of, well, there's no shows, so why should there be people out here? When's the last time you've seen even the Dora Milaje? Are they even on the calendar? Yeah. Well, they are still on the app, but I just can't think of or remember the last time. Hi! The last time I've seen them actually, pardon me, in the actual park. Healthy queue here at 1 o'clock for Tim Test Kitchen. On our last visit, we tried the new pasta. Not that. There you go, the pepper particle pasta. That was pretty good. I do need to get into one of those pretzels again one of these days. But that's looking like probably 20, 25 minutes to get standby food here at Pim's. We'll take a pass across the street into and through Avengers Vault. Easy peasy, nice and breezy. That was, yeah, we're already, that's the last guest, I think. Oh, there's one more. My goodness. Okay. So it would seem that all the guests are in they're getting in queues or getting food, and they're not out here in the streets. This has a very like Knott's Berry Farm feel right now. Busy in the queues, but not in the streets. But as for what was supposed to be a major part of the Avengers Campus experience, nothing here, although they're supposed to be. It's on this calendar, but I can't remember the last time I've seen a show out here. Nothing happening out here except for, oh, there's Captain Marvel back there. Speaking of characters, there's no characters out here either. There's the meet and greet, like there's the Iron Man meet out there, and that looks to be some sort of scheduled meet and greet happening back there. Something a little more organized, but there's no characters out here walking around presently. No sign of Black Panther or Doctor Strange or literally anyone. And it gets worse. If my eyes do not deceive me, Web Slingers is closed. So you can't even, take that my advice and jump over from Mission Breakout and come over here and find something else to do, because this is not happening right now. Just checked in with a cast member there, and he said that just a minor little power issue, it's going to reset and they'll be back online in about an hour. So maybe we can come back and do a little recon on that later. I feel like we breezed through the first two lands here, Hollywood Backlot and Avengers Campus. We kind of it is so quiet here right now. It is, wow, is even Spider-Man out? There we go. Spider-Man always draws a crowd. Half a show. It's just finishing that other thought. That's half a show now. It's not, they don't do any of the parkour, any of him jumping over the crates, doing any kind of, stunt. It's just him talking, goes to the building, flies across. He doesn't rappel. He doesn't, scale down the thing anymore. He doesn't do any of that. When we talk about what Disney is or isn't doing and how they can, we've just come back from Epic, and there's a lot of comparisons being done right now in that regard, and people want to say you've got to respond and this, and I don't believe that they need to build any more park or create something new necessarily to compete. They need to do that stuff. They need to do the stuff that they promised. They need to over-deliver. They need to actually, do something extra and more. And that's the thing that Epic is getting credit for right now. It's not the fact that they built a new roller coaster, which, by the way, it's great. The roller coasters, the Stardust and, there's three. Anyway, the roller coasters are great, but that's not really, for me anyway, I don't know, I guess I can't speak for everybody, but that's not what makes that park great. What makes it great is that they let the Imagineers work. They let the Imagineers work, and they let the Imagineers flex, and then they went extra, and then they followed through, and they did all the things that they promised us they were gonna do for you. Hey, how are you guys? They followed through. They did the things that they said they were gonna do, and they did it well. It's well done. Now, hey guys, one question, I don't know if I asked it, but I know I've asked this of others. How long do you think that they can keep that up though? How long do you think that can Epic keep up having Igor running around Darkmoor? How long do you think they can keep up with having, I forget the character's name, at How to Train a Dragon? That meet and greet looks pretty damn permanent. How long can they keep all that up? How long can they keep those animatronics working, on Monsters Unleashed as well as they do? There's like a dozen animatronics in that attraction. How long before those start breaking down and people start saying, hey, this one's broken, that one's broken? Who knows? I feel like that's a very legitimate question to be asking, and it's something that if we're being honest as reviewers of theme parks and all that, we can't give them a pass. I saw a lot of broken animatronics when I was there at Epic, but that's the thing. That's fine. I don't mind those things breaking down because I know how complicated those things are. But how long are they going to be keeping up with the extras? The streetmosphere and the little side things that are happening. For example, and this has been going woefully underreported, I believe. I didn't even talk about it, but then again, I didn't really know what to expect. But it is, from what I've heard, there was supposed to be a lot more entertainment in the Celestial Park area. Streetmosphere, musicians, shows, actors, things of that nature. They cut almost all of it before they even opened the park. So, and that's something it's a very Disney thing to do. Now, but I don't think anybody's talking about that, but it is a real thing. Now, part of that was because Celestial Park was absolutely barren when we were there, and so Universal probably took a view of that and said, well, maybe people aren't into it. I don't want to get off on Epic Universe now at this point. I feel like I've already gone too far. Let's continue our State of DCA report and get to Cars Land. Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, first up, posted 20 minutes. The queue looks pretty nominal right here. They're running both sides, everything looks good. I'm feeling this really strong pull right now to jump in that queue. I just now realized this is my second day back in the parks. I have not been on a single ride yet. A day and a half I've spent here at the Disneyland Resort and not got on a single ride, but I'm gonna hold out. We gotta keep going. By the way, it goes without saying, no recon necessary or needed there at Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. If you want to get in that queue, you just go ahead. It will not be 20 minutes. That queue is not 20. But it's not going to be a walk-on either, but it's going to be 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes. But 20 minutes would be the absolute top side for that attraction. Gonna take a quick pass. Hi guys, how are you? I'm gonna take a quick pass through the Cozy Cones just to check in and see how their new ordering system is working these days. Last couple of trips through, it's been pretty efficient. Churros looks like the pickup side isn't so bad. Mobile order not too bad. Things are getting a little bit dicey right here. Most of the people that I'm seeing here are mobile order. That's mobile order. That's standard. This queue is people who have placed it over here. They're getting into the queue there, and then that's mobile order. Wow, it's not too bad. I didn't have any difficulty walking through there. And this, I don't know, man. I have to wonder really if this is working out the way that they had hoped. Because it doesn't feel like there's a lot of guests. Maybe it's just super efficient. And they don't have to worry, this is way easier ordering here, way easier than going up to the individual Cozy Cone windows and ordering there. Far less confusing. I hope it's working, I do, because I think that's a good idea. I really do, I like that. Let's stop into Flo's, where there is a nominal wait here. Not too bad, 15-20 minutes standby, but once more, there's a few guests, I guess, posted out here waiting for their mobile orders. You see that a lot, though. When people place the mobile order, they just kind of camp out. So they're not actually getting the most out of their mobile order use because they do still wind up standing and waiting. They just do it out here instead of in the queue. I'm trying to look up what the wait time is right now for Flo's. 19 minutes. That's a 19-minute wait time for Flo's. You could do that, as we often say. Place your order now, skip that line, run across the street, and go ride Luigi's Casa de la Tires, and then come back and get your Ramon's Low and Slow Club, which is my favorite food to eat here at Flo's V8 Cafe. Although the chicken's pretty good too, I would pass on the cheeseburger. Let's check in on Luigi's Rollicking Roasters, where there is a posted 30-minute wait time. I've been trying to ride this thing for months, but once more, this is a no-go for me. This is not a queue that I'm looking to get into. They're actually using part of that switchback up there. That's wild. I'm always hoping for it to be inside that threshold at least, but it's out here with the tires. That's a no. A no for me at least, as a lone guy trying to decide what kind of attraction to get into. If you're a family, especially, that's probably not so bad. There's no lightning lane there, so you're not gonna have a lot of competition. It's a manageable queue. 30 minutes, probably not 30 minutes. I just, for me, it's a question of value. Like, what's my time worth in terms of what I'm getting at the end. Luigi's is okay. It's, kids like it. I gotta say, kids like that ride. They like spinning around. It's a great family ride. And that conversation has taken us right to the threshold of Radiator Springs Racers, posted 85 minutes. This is another one of those visual no-goes for me right here. It's out here in the spare bullpen, which you just don't want to see. There's some folks who are deciding, no thank you, never mind. I think I made a mistake getting in this queue. This is bad. All this is bad. You don't want to see that if you can help it. You also don't want to see, if you're a single rider, the back of the queue right here. That is as deep a single rider queue as I think I've seen in quite a long time. Normally I like to see it much further up, towards the second bridge even. Back here, these guys, they're gonna get a discount, but it's still gonna take a while. That queue, that single rider queue out there, coming almost all the way to the threshold, is probably 40 minutes for single rider. Just be warned, be warned. Oh, look at here. Catching the backside of Lightning McQueen. He's making his way backstage, I'm sure.
In Radiator Springs? You gotta be kidding me! Wow! Thank you. Hey, whoa! Careful of the west! I just got to the side!
Coming soon to you, Florida. Coming soon to the Magic Kingdom. They're gonna fill up the river with dirt and put Lightning McQueen. It's funny. It's sort of it's ironic, actually, when you think about it, because part of the story about Radiator Springs, or Cars, the movie, is that they built another freeway next to Route 66, which destroyed all the business and all the traffic that those old, the old businesses that used to thrive on Route 66, they all died when they built the freeway to modernize it. And so what's going to happen? Cars are going to destroy the history that has happened on the rivers of America. Food for thought. San Francisco. Looks like they brought out some of the tables. I can't remember. Were these gone before? God, I'm losing my mind. Certainly, there are tables right here where these trash cans are. The tables used to come out to this way at least. Baymax!
May I recommend a photograph?
San Francisco, as always, a happening place. Outstanding. Cocina, 15 minutes. Full tables out here. People are enjoying themselves at DCA today. This is one of those measuring sticks. How busy is DCA? I don't know. How busy is San Francisco? Looks pretty busy to me. My goodness. I have not seen a single open table yet, except for these high tops right here. One of these days, I'm just gonna stop right here. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna stop right there and grab a margarita from Rita's. Rita's Margaritas. I gotta do it one of these days. Looks like Lucky Fortune Cookery is cooking up some business. That's a pretty healthy standby queue right there. Hardly anybody. Oh no, that's okay, mobile order. Okay, they're sending everybody to one window, is that right? To window 4? That's interesting. All the mobile orders going to one window. Nothing coming to 1 or 2. Let's go check in at Cass Cafe. Liz and I had lunch here during Star Wars Season of the Force. We stopped over here on our way there to get some lunch. I don't know if we put that in a video anywhere, but stay tuned because I think we're going to be doing a compilation video of things we've ate. And one of those was that the basil pesto sandwich. Is that what it's called? I forget now. The Turkey Pesto Club. Hopefully you're seeing that now. The Turkey Pesto Club. It was pretty good. The dessert that we got though, oh my God. That was so good. It was so good. Yeah, so the plan is to put together a compilation of things we've eaten either this year or this month or March or I don't know what, but we've got a lot of food videos or a lot of food that we've shot that we haven't actually put into a video yet. Stay tuned for that. And stay tuned also right now for a review of the tip board. We're gonna head down to Paradise Bay, the World of Color viewing area, take a look at what the wait times are around the park. Alrighty. Looking for, oh, gotta refresh again. They still have not, I don't know, maybe it's my app. Maybe I need to reinstall this app, but I gotta refresh. Okay, there we go. Golden Zephyr 5 minutes. Maybe that's our ride today. Goofy Sky School 30 minutes. Considering what we've seen in the park today, that seems kind of light. I've been seeing a lot of extended wait times. 30 minutes is light for Goofy Sky School. Return time an hour and a half. Grizzly River Run is 10 minutes. It's a very chilly day today. It's probably in the low 60s right now, I think, which is chilly, by the way, for us, yes. Return time in no time. 100 minutes now. Guardians Mission Breakout is up to 100. That does not surprise me in the least. They've also stopped selling Lightning Lane or offering Lightning Lane because they are down to just one elevator right now. Incredicoaster is 25 minutes. That's pretty good. I like to see that. Incredicoaster. Return time of now. So there's Lightning Lane has been very busy today. That's right now. That is the least busy that we've seen of any Lightning Lane attraction. Emotional Whirlwind is 20. Jesse's Walk On at 5. Jumpin' Jellyfish 5. Little Mermaid is 25. I don't think so. There's hardly anybody in that queue right now. That's a walk on. I might be inclined just to go over there right now and prove it to you in about 3 minutes. Luigi's is at 20. Mater's is at 20. Monsters Inc. is closed with a return time of an hour and a half. Pixar Pal Around is 20. Wow. Okay, things are lightening up out there. Radiator Springs is up to 95. It was 85 when we walked by. Return time of now. That looked like a really beefy queue. I would not want to be in that queue right now at Radiator Springs Racers. Redwood Creek, oh, that's open now. We can go walk through there at the end of the day today. So Symphony is 15. That's probably a walk-on, actually. Soarin is 45. That's good. That should be a popular attraction today. We'll see. Return time in just over an hour and a half. And then Toy Story Midway Mania at 50, which is where it should be, and a return time of almost 3 hours. So that is the second most, well, no, I gotta say Mission is the second most. Third most popular attraction today, Toy Story. And then, oh, there you go. Web Slingers is back open. We forgot to go back and check on that, but Web Slingers is back open. Posted 35. Return time in 2 hours, and that's probably because of the breakdown. So that's affected the return time for Web Slingers. And there you go. Take care. All right, let's have some fun with this. I'm going to do just what we said. We were looking at the tip board just now. Little Mermaid was posted 25 minutes. I'm like, there's no chance. It's practically a walk-on right now. We're going to go check that out this minute. And there you go. Posted 25. Let's start the timer. Let's see how real that is. I'm going to show you in just a minute why I don't believe in that 25-minute posted wait time. But we have reached the back of the queue here. There is a little bit of Lightning Lane happening right there, just a little bit. And this is what I was talking about. We're gonna make a U-turn right here. We're not using any of that queue back there. Anytime you can see, none or a little bit of queue in that space back there, you're in pretty good shape. This is suddenly reminding me a little bit of our recon effort that we did at the same exact ride at Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. We actually went on aerials, but mostly because I wanted to see the queue and I wanted to do some science. It was posted 30 and we walked virtually right on. It was like a 10-minute wait, I think, total. Guys, if you haven't yet, do check out, we put 2 videos up, or we will have 2 videos up from Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom. And by the way, we're through the door in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and we'll be in our vehicle in probably 6 minutes total. Watch those videos. Magic Kingdom, we had the most amazing time. I felt like, somebody who's never been to Disneyland before, I felt like a new visitor to a theme park. Even though I've been to Magic Kingdom, but it was such a cool experience. Epcot was amazing. We had a great time. We're actually contemplating. You know what? I'm going to talk about that after we find our clamshell, we need to get in one of those guys right there and go under the sea. And that's right. 650 now into our vehicle. Well done.
Yeah, we can try and Sebastian to keep an eye on Ariel.
Unfortunate souls in pain, in need. No white dying to try you wanna kiss the girl.
There you go. Park science confirmed. 6 minutes. Had a delightful time under the sea. Let's continue this show. Get into Pixar Pier, which I am expecting to be quite light. I think it's going to be pretty slow in there. Looking for low wait times across the board, especially at Incredicoaster and the Pixar Pal Around. By the way, one thing that we were alluding to in that queue back there with Little Mermaid is, with regard to our trip to Florida, Walt Disney World, and Universal, was that we're trying to measure the demand and the feasibility of including more frequent reports from those parks. I really want to. I really want to, but I'm not sure if it'll work, if there's enough demand because there's not a lot of people doing the kind of things that we do in those parks. Certainly not at Universal, but also at Walt Disney World. There's a lot of vloggers in Walt Disney World for sure, but not vloggers who do the kinds of videos that we do. And I really want to know, I personally want to know more about Magic Kingdom and Epcot and Hollywood and how to beat some of those attractions there. I would love to figure out if there's a way to beat Tron, for example. Can Tron be beat? Can Cosmic Rewind be beat? I don't know, but I feel like I'm the man for that job. But I would love to hear from you guys in that regard about the appetite, the desire for Walt Disney World content. If not on this channel, then maybe on our other channel. We have a channel that was dedicated to just Walt Disney World coverage. We don't have a big following there, so I'm not sure how that works out. But I don't know what the number is, like how many comments or requests for that kind of comment or content from us. What would trigger that? We're gonna make at least one more trip soon. Anyway, we're going in May, so and it's a question of right now whether or not it's me and Liz or just myself, and then it's a question then after that if we go again, in July or something like that as well. So we'll see. But let us know. I would like to hear from you guys in that regard. And what did you think, by the way, of the Magic Kingdom video and the Epcot? The videos that we do wouldn't be like that for whatever it's worth. The videos that we wind up doing are going to be more like the ones that we do here. And with that, we will pick up our recon today of the attractions. There's the single rider queue. That's actually kind of a long queue considering how dead it is. That usually is the measuring stick. If I see the queue back there, that's bad. This is about half that, but still pretty healthy considering. I would like to see a race between this queue and what's happening in standby down there, which looks pretty light. They're certainly not out here, in the switchbacks here. They're not down there in the extended queue back there. It looks like they're starting. The back of the queue's right here. I think standby wins this race right now. I think this queue beats single rider. 2 weeks ago, we did the same thing. We did a test of visual just to see if we could, spot guests in the queues and race them. And I said, Liz and I are going to come down here for our anniversary, and we're going to actually race. Liz and I were going to actually race. We were going to get dinner at Lamplight Lounge, and then after dinner, we were going to run over here and get in this queue. She was going to get in single rider. I was going to get in standby, and we were going to race. We kind of did that. We had dinner at Lamplight Lounge. It was delightful. We posted that on our stories. But when it came time to come over here to jump on a credit coaster, the ride was down. So we couldn't do our race. We had a whole video planned and we couldn't make the video. Doesn't that suck? Like, let's go. The ride was closed and there was no chance we could have a fair fight, even if it reopened, because it was down for such a long time. that, you know, all the lightning lanes were going to come in and jam up standby. I was going to get my ass kicked. I was 100% going to get my ass kicked by single rider if we had to have that race then. I need a fair fight to win. As for Incredicoaster today, it is posted at 25 minutes, and as we just showed you, that standby queue is super slick right now. They're jumping right into the risers. You're going straight into the risers. No waiting out here. That queue right now looks like it's moving like greased lightning. I would not get in the single rider. And by the way, the benefit is that not only is there a chance you beat it, but you can also pick your seat. You can ask for any seat you want, whereas you can't do that on single rider. Posted 25, that's more like 15. So far, so good on Pixar Pier. That was a breeze right there at Incredicoaster. I'm hoping for the same here. This is the kind of day, it seems like at moments it's been super busy, but then in other moments, very, very manageable. We're hitting that manageable period right now. Now again, this is not our normal shooting day. We're here on a Wednesday rather than a Monday. Mondays are usually busier than Wednesdays, I'll say that. And look at that, we've arrived at Toy Story Midway Mania and a nearly empty external standby queue out here, the exterior standby queue, I should say. There is a very healthy lightning lane queue though. I want to say, yeah, it's 2 switchbacks, 3 switchbacks worth of lightning lane. So this is a big day for lightning lane. That's why the posted wait time says 55 minutes right now when you've got such an empty queue. That's because they're getting so much action here that these guys can't get anywhere. They're just stuck. And I'm actually curious to see how long it would take to get just the back of this queue out of that building. How long would it take for them to get just these guests processed inside there in that one extended queue back there, not even to the vehicle? I'll bet you that would take a half an hour. I'd be curious to know what triggered the excess lightning lane, because we hardly ever see this much action in lightning lane queues on a random weekday like we're getting today. It's not a holiday, it's not a weekend. I mean, there is a holiday coming up, but that's next Monday, so guess we'll be getting that day off, but they're not going to be getting Wednesday off the week before. If they're getting Wednesday off, oh yay! If they're getting Wednesday off, they're getting Thursday and Friday too, probably. Pixar Pal Around. What a beaut, huh? I love looking at this thing. Not my favorite attraction, but I sure do love looking at it. Swinging gondola is posted at 30, and non-swinging is now at 45. When we were checking the tip board, didn't it say 20? Look at that, 45 minutes. And boy, does it look like it. The queue is all the way back there to the top of the ramp. This is one of those scenarios where it's self-regulating. I talk about that often in these reports when I do my queue science. Every queue has a limit to what guests are willing to wait in. They look at it and they say, that's beyond my limit. You never see this queue, the non-swinging gondola queue, get out here past this threshold right there, past this tree. You never see it out there. No matter how busy the park is, you never see the queue out here. There's a self-regulating limit, and pretty much that white line, or maybe out here on the rarest occasions, is it. That's it. So I'll stand here for a while. We'll do our commentary. I'll come back and check the back of that queue. But I bet you, if anything, it's going to get inside of that. It'll come in inside of that. That's a long queue. It's a 45-minute queue, probably, yes. And it's also going to be kind of excruciating because there will be long moments where you don't do anything while the fun wheel does its full loop kind of thing. It takes forever for them to get guests in and out of these buckets. It's just one of the more excruciating waits. And I know this because I do this every single week. At least once a week, I'm in this attraction every week, and I will be in this attraction at least once a week every week. Probably until I'm dead. Probably, no joke, or for at least as long as it takes me to stop making these videos, because this is the view that we get for Avengers Campus, and it will be eventually the view that we get for Disneyland Forward on the other side of those walls down there, and there will be no escaping my getting into that fun wheel if I want to get any kind of look at construction happening here at DCA. So for the rest of my life, I'm going to have a very intimate knowledge of how this queue operates. And I will tell you this, if I were here today trying to do recon and I found this queue, I would go get something to eat over at Paradise Garden Grill. I would literally do anything to not get in this queue right now. Meanwhile, the swing gondola, not too bad. That's actually kind of standard. It's posted at 30. It might even be less than that. Don't forget, you're getting 2 gondolas to 1 at this attraction. And on our way out, having finished that little commentary, look, just as I predicted, it did not grow, but rather it shrunk. There is simply a limit to what queue guests will get into, and it's funny because it's kind of like cosmically understood. It's not discussed. There's no town hall where, like, unless you watch FreshBaked. But I mean, it's weird how just nature just chooses naturally a limit for these kinds of things, and that's what I love to look at. That's one of the things that I I really enjoy about park science is the natural order of things. I take a very sort of earthly approach to my science in the sense that it's all symbiotic, everything relates to each other. It's a big ecosystem that we exist in here, and there are small things that happen, and there's just a natural order of things. And that is something that it kind of takes a lot of reps to get used to, is what is the limit? What is the limit? That's one of the things anyway. And we'll spot that in other attractions, as we go, throughout the parks over the course of the months and years, we talk about things. I'm always looking for those natural limits to what people will endure. Stop by real quick at Emotional Whirlwind, where it's posted 30 minutes. Yep, 30 minutes. That's a big queue right there. This also is about the limit that I would expect. I've never seen, for example, this queue escape the threshold. I've never seen this queue get out here. That would be insane, you guys. That would be insane if this queue ever got that long, because this ride does not warrant that kind of queue. It doesn't really warrant this one either. I would not get in this queue. Came back to Toy Story Midway Mania real quick to check on the status of the back of the queue that we marked here. It's been about 20 minutes and no sign of the back of the queue. They're still back there somewhere. I don't think they're coming out of there anytime soon. We'll get back to the show. And that show takes us next to Silly Symphony Swings. Posted 15 minutes. Back at the queue is at the bottom of the stairs. Agreed. 15 minutes.
If you're feeling brave, then come and join the best. Just follow a lead and soon you'll pass the test. But Sheriff wouldn't sound at all.
Rat-a-tat-tat. Goofy Sky School. I feel a little bit of intensity coming out of this queue, just a tiny bit. And it was posted 30 on the tip board when we reviewed it earlier. It is now showing 55 minutes. I was skeptical. I'm like, there's no way, come on. 30 is a bargain. That's 55, and this is using a lot of this queue. They're all full down here. They're not using this though, but they are in the garden. You could actually take that garden and put it in here, and you'd probably, it's the same weight, but it looks different. When it's out there in the garden, it looks like it's longer than it really is. But that is probably something close to 55 minutes, depending on Lightning Lane, which I see the back a lot. That's the movement that you're seeing back there in the back. That's Lightning Lane making their way up the ramp. It's not good. It's not good. I don't like the looks of this queue if I was getting in there. But one thing that we can say, the good thing about Goofy Sky School is that the vehicles are constant. Love that. That's always a nice takeaway. It feels like it's going to be forever, and that, but at least you're going to be moving a lot, provided there's not like an intense amount of Lightning Lane guests. But the constant movement of the vehicles keeps the queue moving a little bit, which helps in terms of how it feels. It doesn't feel quite as arduous as it could. By the way, Jumpin' Jellyfish, 15 minutes. Both sides are open. Nominal queue. You can walk right onto that pretty much. Easy peasy. Golden Zephyr, it was 5 minutes when we checked the tip board. A little bit of queue down below here, but even with that, they can get quite a few guests in there, so that's maybe just 2 rotations. I don't know if it's 5 minutes, which is what the sign is saying. Yeah, sign says 5. It's probably more like 10. Hey, how are you? More like 10 or 15 perhaps. There isn't really a queue that I would say no to for Golden Zephyr if you're choosing Golden Zephyr. I'm not sure if that's me. I do like to go on that ride sometimes though, just to get for the views and just to kind of capture the aesthetic or whatever. But it's just, it goes in a circle and you're like, yay. Right next door is one of the kiosks, the Uncork California kiosk for Food and Wine Festival that ended, I think, on Sunday. Food and Wine Festival is over. Probably one of the best food festivals that they've had here in a little while. We really enjoyed Food and Wine this year. The next one coming up is, well, I don't know if they're, I don't think they're doing anything for the 70th. So, Festival of Holidays? Hopefully it's better. Man, I know I don't shut up about it, but it makes such a big deal. Like, the whole point is the food, and it just was not very good. The food was not very good last year. The end of the Food and Wine Festival means they're no longer selling the maple bacon churro here at the Grizzly Falls Churro Cart. Regular churros only. It's really good. I'm due for another churro run around the park, aren't I? Like trying to eat every churro. Redwood Creek Challenge is reopened. Did we come through here already since it reopened? I can't remember if we did, but we're going to now. I think we did. We were here 2 weeks ago. This is where I like to wind down our state reports, or really any day at DCA. I feel like this is a great way to end a day at DCA. Look at that, there's a duck. He's leaving duck tracks. Bye, duck. Oh my. The last thing you should do at a theme park, hi, how are you? Is something that is relaxing. Something that's low-key, chill, wind down a little bit. People mover at Magic Kingdom, Redwood Creek here at Disneyland. I would do the train maybe. That's the last thing I would do is the train. When I go to Universal, the backlot tour is always the last thing that I do. I never do it first. Not to mention it takes an hour or more. By the time you get off, you're just like, oh, I don't want to do anything else. Five minutes. Total walk on. What a delight this scene is right now, even if it's chilly out. Looks like somebody lost some ears. Oh no. Oh, they have turned that one up. Holy mackerel. They have really turned that one up. Oh my gosh. Oh! He did not see that coming one bit. He thought it was done. It crawled over the edge. But they've really amped that one up right. Oh my God. Boom! Oh no. Is that cast? Wow, look at that thing go, man. They spinal tapped that fountain. Turned it up to 11. And there is the back of the queue for Soarin, which is back to Soarin over California now. Not Soarin around the world. That is a good sized queue. I tested that queue recently as part of that race video that Liz and I were gonna do. We also raced single rider here at Soarin versus standby, and that's about the queue that I got into. And interesting result on that one, interesting result. I don't want to give it away because we plan on finishing that video. We plan on finishing that video just as soon as we can get Liz back in the park again at the same time as me. But the standby on that, it looks terrible, but it actually wasn't too bad. I think we were in like 30, 35 minutes, but this one is posted at 45. As we often say, you want to try to be in that first section there. You want to try to not get into a queue that's, in the back half or around the corner. But even then, it's still, I mean, if it's posted 45, you could feel pretty good about that there. So we started our day today, our afternoon, at the Fiddler Pfeiffer Practical Cafe to get a cup of coffee. I also started my day, before we started rolling, right here at Smokejumpers Grill. Tried the new blue cheese burger there. Let me take you back in time. Enjoy that burger with me. Well, we're at Smokejumpers Grill, just inside the entrance to DCA, about ready to enjoy something that I've had my eye on here at Smokejumpers for quite a while. I walked by it, I'm like, God, I gotta get in there and get that burger. Finally taking that opportunity to do that today. This is the Buffalo Blue Burger, beef and mushroom blend patty, buffalo ranch, blue cheese, onion ring, lettuce and tomato on a toasted bun served with fries. Actually, I've opted for onion rings instead of fries. You can choose that in the app. Doubling up on the onion rings, even though they've got onion rings right here in the burger. Not a 100% beef patty. I don't know if you caught that. This patty is a blend of mushroom and beef. Mostly I'm here for the blue cheese. I have a weird, I love blue cheese. I used to hate it and now I love it. And so I like to try it on different things, and that's why I've been drawn to this burger. Wanted to try this blue cheese buffalo burger. I don't know where to start. We're just gonna pick a spot. Cheers, FreshBaked. Well, first impressions are that it's pretty tasty. The burger is actually, quite burger-like, even though it's partly mushroom. It's a little bit spicy, actually. There's a little bit of spice in there. I'm not sure if that's intentional or if that's the buffalo ranch. One thing I noticed is that it's kind of got a Bob's Big Boy type quality to it. One thing I love is when they do shredded lettuce instead of leaf lettuce on burgers, because it adds something to me for the experience. There's more crunchiness in that iceberg than there is sometimes the lettuce when it's a whole leaf. It tends to get more wilted. Really enjoying that. So, plus the sauce is great. But I haven't really I didn't get any blue cheese on that. I'm gonna try, I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a little bit of blue cheese right there. Oh, there it is. I found it. I was just about to say, the blue cheese is still missing. I don't think it's enough. Whatever it is, it's not enough, but I did get some on that bite. And it is working quite well, I have to say. It does fit in with this burger pretty nicely. I love a blue cheese burger. The bun, it's all right. It's actually not helping the experience at all. A little dense. I'm not sure why that is. It just looks like a regular hamburger bun. Nothing special, but it's coming off as a little dense and a little chewy almost. I have to pull. So maybe it's a little, I'm not sure what. Again, the hardest part of this was just separating the bun. All in all, that's not bad. Good start. Let's try those onion rings. Big fan of the onion rings here at Smokejumpers. Yeah, they're good size. They're well cooked. You can flatten them. That's what I do. You can flatten them and then dip, and that helps to get a decent bite out of that. It is sometimes the case with onion rings that after you bite, you can't separate the onion from the ring. That's good stuff. Great onion rings here at Smokejumpers. Back to the burger. Look at that beauty. I love a good sloppy, messy burger like that with lots of sauce on the side, lettuce coming out. Hopefully, there, in some cases there's onions, but in this case, onion ring. Still not a lot of sight of that blue cheese though. I found it. It's all right there in the middle. I found it. There's a big chunk of it right in the middle, so they put a glob of it in the middle, so it's not spread out throughout the burger. I don't know if that's planned or not. Is that the way it's supposed to be? I gotta eat half this burger to get to the blue cheese, and there's gonna be one big chunk. I mean, if you know blue cheese, you know a little goes a long way. I'm a little nervous now when I get to that spot. There we go. Look at that. That's the blue cheese chunk right there in the middle. Wish me luck. That was intense. I mean, it's better with it. I'll say that. It's better with the blue cheese than without it. But it is a lot right there in the middle. So all in, I mean, I'll take it. It's not the best burger I've ever had. I've certainly had a lot better. And I don't want to get all the way to like something like a 4, because I feel like, well, 4 is probably about right. Maybe we can give it a full-on 4 out of 5 if you're like me and you don't have a really big stomach and you can make this 2-man job. It makes it much more enjoyable. At $16.99 or $16.49, it's a little on the high side for a burger. I'll say that. So we'll give it 3.5 out of 5. But the onion rings, 5 out of 5. Awesome. Cheers, FreshBaked. That's it, guys. That's our show this week, our State of DCA report. I do hope you enjoyed. Be sure to check out, okay, I'm gonna show you one Epic Universe video here. Check out our second day. You should check out our second day. And then also our Magic Kingdom visit from Florida. Great videos, and I hope you guys enjoyed those. And until next time, be safe out there, be kind to one another, and FreshBaked